Morning, class. Okay. In 2012, Facebook launched its first IPO, initial public offering, made available to the stock market for all of us to participate in. Each share was valued at $38 a piece. Now, what if you could have been one of those shareholders at the moment to invest in that market? Well, as students, we are capable of doing that. It is possible for us to do that. For some of us, the matter isn't about what if, but more about how. I personally don't own any shares of Facebook, but I've taken an interest in it for many years and done a lot of research over time so I can prepare myself for the event when I do decide to invest in the market. And what I've learned is this, that understanding how the stock market works can be a powerful tool when setting yourself up financially for the future or even some retirement. So what I'm going to talk to you today is about, one, what the stock market really is, two, how to actually invest into the stock market, and three, some tips that I've learned along the way. The stock market is as it sounds. It's a place where stocks are bought and sold. Stocks are known as shares. It's shares of a company that that company puts out in order to gain funding for their product or their project. When you purchase shares of a company, you become part of the company, in which case you're then given reports on the company's progress and how they're doing each time. The stock market generally is driven off of two main principles. So one, supply and demand, and two, the overall progress of a company. In general, you can think of it like this. As the stock market goes up, or the value of the company goes up, so does the share. And as the value of the share diminishes, that means that shareholders are generally selling off their stock because they don't like how that company is doing. So now that I've discussed, a little bit about what the market is, I'm going to talk to you about how to actually get started investing in the market. So first, two questions that come to mind you might ask yourself is, one, which company do I invest in? And two, how much? Well, in an interview I had with Yolanda Castro earlier this year, a Johnson & Johnson shareholder of over 12 years, she stated that it is wise to invest in a company in which you have a general interest in. So this, for example, can be a musician who likes to play instruments a lot, might consider investing in a company that manufactures instruments or a retail seller of instruments. Same thing for somebody who likes to cook a lot or is interested in food products, might consider investing in a company that makes cutlery, makes knives, or in a food market such as Ralph's or in a restaurant. So once you decide what company you can invest in, the next question is, how much? So there's no real telling how much money you should invest other than the actual price of the share itself. But a good rounded number that people usually use for some investors is about $1,000. And the reason for that is because there's a lot of factors that come into play. The fees that the markets have, transactions that come into place, all of that plays a role in your transactions in the market. And $1,000 is a number that can be recovered easily, even by an entry-level employee at any time. So with that, I've discussed about what the stock market is and how to invest in it. And I'm going to provide some tips that I've learned along the way. And the two biggest tips that I've learned over the years are these. One, don't put all your eggs in a basket. More specifically, like Chris Langerger, a senior writer for Investopedia.com puts it, by investing in a range of assets, you reduce the risk of one's investment performance, severely hurting the return of your overall investment. All this means is spread your money out. If you decide to invest in the market, spread it out amongst different companies. Don't put it all into one because you have the risk of losing all of that money should that company do bad. The other advice that I was given is don't freak out. The market is a big roller coaster. It goes up and it goes down. And you get excited and then you feel depressed about how it's doing. But the number one thing that you can remember is like an article that was written posted on money.cnn.com entitled Investing Your Money Basics in 2014, stated that the stock market has historically provided the highest returns over any gains amongst its asset class, over 10% over the long term. which means that despite how the market does, it may do good, it may do bad, it's gonna recover, and your money will still be there, as long as you don't freak out and you don't panic and try to pull it out. So now I've discussed what the market is and how to invest in it, and provided some tips along the way. I could go ahead and close this out by saying this. Ultimately, the research you do goes a long way and is crucial and beneficial to your success in the market, in the journey. And with the things that we discussed today about how to invest in it and what it is, and then having an overall understanding of the general market, your success towards gaining financial stability will be greatly improved. So I leave you with this. In 2012, at the start of Facebook's opening to the public, the value of Facebook was worth $55 billion as a whole at $38 a share. Today, it's worth $155 billion at $80 a share. I don't know about you, but who wouldn't want to be a part of one of those shareholders at that time? Thank you.